Okay, what's your name?
My name is Megan.
Megan. All right, where are you from, Megan?
I'm from, I came here from southern Indiana, but my family originally moved from Canada when I was around 11 years old, so.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's
So,
right.
what were you doing before you came here?
Before I came here, I was working as a cake decorator for a local bakery that was like inside a little grocery store. It was nothing serious.
Oh, cool, though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was super fun. I really enjoyed it. But then I had like a really toxic work environment where my boss was just really mean, and I didn't really realize that where I was working was just so bad for my mental health. And so I gave my 2-week notice and I quit. And
Wow.
I had nothing lined up, and then I had Tori in my life, and we just like randomly applied for jobs out here, and we didn't have
out
jobs.
of the blue. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was gonna be my next question. Is
Oh, yeah.
why did you come out here?
Yeah.
So you were in between jobs.
Yeah,
Okay,
in
that's
between
pretty
jobs.
cool. So first season. So would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely.
Would you do
Yeah.
here again, or would you do other parks?
I would definitely do Glacier again for sure. But definitely want to see other parks. Yeah.
Cool. So tell me a story about your time here. You know, something interesting, funny,
Okay.
emotional, whatever, whatever kind of
Yeah.
story.
I think what I found to be really interesting is the different groups of people. I find that interesting just alone, because you have some people that are more quiet, some people that are more like athletic, some people that are more just really social. And so I think it's interesting when you come in and you try to find a place, because I came much later in the season, so it was harder to find friends. We went on a hike one day, like really early on in the season, with the more athletic people, and that was
I
surreal.
can relate to that.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah. So that was really intense. It was only 7 miles, so it wasn't like a whole lot.
7 sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah, 7 is like a lot. When I came here, I thought 7 was a lot. And I had my second knee surgery in February, so I'm still in like this like recovery period. So my leg doesn't like operate as quickly as it should.
Oh,
So,
and hiking would be hard.
yeah, and hiking is definitely hard. So that was a real eye opener when we first got here, with the people that were around and how serious they are about their pacers and how many steps they're getting and how quick they're going.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, that would be something. So what would you advise people who are thinking about coming out here? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to absolutely do it. Like, even if they had like the smallest little bit of doubt. Like, I was so scared, and I really only got my ass here because Tori was so like so motivating, and so you need to go. Like, we have like, this is such an awesome thing that we can do, and I did, and it was such an emotional thing for me to like let go of the place I was at in my life and my story, to like close that chapter completely and like move out of it, and then come here to like open a new chapter. And I think something I've really realized is that phrase of like, when one door closes, another one opens, because that's exactly what happened in my life.
Wow,
And
that's so cool.
yeah, like, I've been struggling for so many years of trying to figure out like what to do for a career, and a consistent anxiety every day of, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And coming here has like opened up my mind so much in that aspect of, you don't have to do anything with your life. Like, you can jump park to park doing seasonal work, and that's okay. You can backpack across the world if you want to, and that's okay. Like, nobody cares what you do with your life. It's only you. And so I think I've grown a lot in an aspect of knowing that I really love being here, and if I had to give the advice to somebody else to come here, would be just to let go of any fear that you have, to just come here and let it go, and learn how to love a new version of yourself, and how to just continue to evolve as a human being.
That makes me want to cry. That's so awesome. That is amazing. So that kind of answered my next question: is how does this place inspire you? Man, you're like
Yeah.
inspired. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add to that, or is that? I mean, you kind of already answered that.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
What's been your biggest surprise?
Being here,
Yeah, just is.
probably that I love it so much. Okay. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. I didn't expect to really like it at all. That's why I was so scared of coming here.
Wow.
And I've never seen mountains or been to the west side of the country before. And I never thought I was materialistic. And I was proud of that, but I was so materialistic. Like, I liked having brand named things, and I liked going shopping and doing different things and having like a certain reputation about myself that I carried. And I think being here, I've let that go a lot, and I didn't even realize that about myself, and that was a big surprise to me. And like, I love being here. Like, I don't want to leave, and we're looking into just like maybe just driving down to Yellowstone for the winter to stay in these parks because they're just beautiful, and I feel like I'm learning so much about myself every single day, and I love that. And every day I love myself so much more than I did weeks ago, and that's a shock.
That. I love it.
Thanks.
So you kind of talked about this already too. What has been your biggest challenge? Is there anything else that has been a challenge that you haven't mentioned, or?
I think my biggest challenge would just be like my mental health. Like, it's getting so much better, but it's different when I didn't realize how much I leaned on my phone for comfort, and like when I would get anxiety and I would want to just like be alone, I could go and be alone and just like watch a show on my phone or just scroll for hours and hours and hours and nothing and learn nothing, and that was okay because it was distracting me from all the other problems I had in my life. And like, I think that was a challenge on its own, being here, of like, you're consistently around people. Like, you can't wake up in the morning and go get coffee and not see people and communicate with them. You can't just walk to your kitchen, get coffee, go back to bed with your coffee. You have to like walk outside. Doesn't matter if the weather is cold, rainy, foggy. Walk through it, walk past tourists, and then get to the coffee zone where the coffee might taste like shit, but you still made it.
That seems to be a common thought around here about the coffee.
Yeah. And then and so it's such a big challenge of knowing yourself and like how you cope with your mental health, and then adding in all these other factors of consistently having to socialize with people and not being used to that, and not being able to just go on your phone and call people whenever you want or text people or do anything. And just, it's a big challenge to just learn how to actually live in the moment as a human being. And that's really difficult for our generation because we've just grown up with phones, and I love that we're just like disconnecting. And
that is so far, I mean, it's only been a few interviews, but so far that has been living in the moment has been one of the common themes of people's thoughts here, you know, and existence here. It's been cool.
Oh, for sure.
Would you change anything
About here?
besides coffee?
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, coffee for sure. And I thought at the very beginning that I would change so many things, like living in a dorm and having a twin bed and roommates. Like a month ago, I would have changed that, but I would not change that now. Like, I love living in a dorm, and I love sharing things with people. And I think if I had to change anything really here, might just be, I mean, the Wi-Fi sucks. So we could maybe add a little bit of a better Wi-Fi.
But then you might not have had the experience of, you know, the growth that you've had.
Yeah.
So,
True.
yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I don't think I would change a whole lot. I really like it.
So tell me about some of the relationships you've formed. here?
I've formed a couple of relationships. I haven't like really socialized with a lot of people here, but I'm not a huge social person. Like, I like to get attached to small, different little parts of people and not like large groups, and that stresses me out. And so like I've gotten really close with Lydia, and she's our roommate, and she's like a great human being and someone that I'm so happy that I've gotten to know. But like outside of here, like she's probably not a person that I would have seen myself being friends with. Like, we're different age groups and use much different vocabulary. And like I've learned a lot from her, and I love being around her. And I also have become really close with some of the kids here from Turkey, which is really, really interesting, because one of our first roommates was Gamza, and she was from Turkey, and she's no longer here. But that was really fun to be close with her. And
cool.
Then there's Huck, and we're also very close with him, which is just so much fun, because I was explaining something to him last week, and I was like, yeah, this sled over here is pretty shitty. And he was like, shitty? I don't know what this word is. And then I had to like sit down and try to explain shitty to somebody that doesn't know what that means. And I think that that's such a funny experience to consistently have. But yeah.
I guess Jana had a conversation about peanut butter.
Oh, with Palm and Pitch. Like, 20 minutes where they're like, so you like peanut butter a lot? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, that's too much. Like, it's too much like flavor or something.
Yeah.
It's too intense. And I was like, yeah, I do peanut butter or apple. They're like, oh.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah. That's so funny.
That's so nuts. It's such a common thing for us.
Yeah, it's so normal in our culture. Where
Yeah.
They're like, I was like, well, what's your favorite food? And they're like, curry. And I was like, I've never had that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So what's been your favorite hike?
My favorite hike so far has probably been, we did Hidden Lake. There's just like the overlook.
Okay. Well, that was a new experience.
Yeah.
Okay. I may have to edit that part out, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. We did Hidden Lake Overlook a couple weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun. And we knew like there would be snow when we went, but I didn't realize like until we got there that it was all snow. So it was a 2-mile hike, I believe, something around there. But it was just uphill, very steep uphill, and it was just all snow.
Wow.
So that was incredible. And when we got up there, there was like a family of mountain goats. So there was like a mom, a dad, and like one little baby, and a baby that was probably like a year old. And it was really cool to like, they like walked past us and were really calm, and that was just really interesting. And then like a week later, we went up the same hike with sleds and we, like, sled
fun.
down. So that was really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
All right, last question. How has this experience changed you? You've kind of talked about this a little bit, so.
Yeah. No, I've changed a lot in a very like positive and in like an easy way. Like, I wouldn't say it's like this drastic change, but it's just changed my look on life so much, and that's exactly what I needed.
Do you think it's permanent? Do you think like you'll take this away and this is going to be like a, wow, I'm going to keep on?
Yeah,
I think
it's
so.
kind of taught me that a lot of the problems that I've really fixated on and things that I've had so much anxiety about are very small in the grand scheme of things. I'm not comparing my problems to other things, but there's just other things to focus on that are so much more beautiful and easy.
I mean, I think you could look at the mountain and go, yeah, my problem's smaller than that mountain.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Exactly. And so I think like I'll definitely take that away from it, and I'm just a lot more easygoing now. I thought I was open-minded when I came, but I'm so much more open-minded now, which is just amazing.
That's
So,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your
welcome.
interview. I appreciate it.
Of course.